the world of professional wrestling. From coast to coast, members of the Busted Nation bring to you another exciting edition of the Nation's Corner. Here are your hosts, Front Row, HiJacker Mike, and Mongrovian Mike.
Hey, what's up, pro wrestling fans? Welcome to Nation's Corner. I am Front Row as always. Joining me this week are dueling mics. We have HiJacker Mike out on the West Coast and Mongrovian Mike out on the East Coast. What's up, guys?
What up?
What's happening?
Well, it's been an eventful week. It's been a big weekend for sure. We're going to cover a bunch of the stuff that's going on in the world of pro wrestling, but I did want to give shout outs to members of the nation who are doing all kinds of fun stuff this weekend. I think Deb went to a Skid Row. Debhausen was at a Skid Row concert last night. And our very own Steven is out in Las Vegas this weekend going to, I think he saw Dirty Honey. Last night he was seeing Metallica, and tonight he's seeing Billy Joel. And so that's a really cool thing. But I did want to talk to you, Mongrovian Mike. You were at a really cool show last night. Why don't you tell us about that?
Well, yes. We saw an ad for me and Neil saw an ad out for Outlaw Wrestling, which was last night. We bought the VIP tickets. We got the autograph poster from it was the Rockers fighting the Ascension, Victor and Connor. And there was a bunch of other cool people there as well, a bunch of great local talent from around the area. And it was, I guess you could say, it was pretty much headlined by one Tommy Dreamer. And but there was a lot of surprises. We had a surprise appearance by EC3, who came out, who was a surprise partner, not a surprise partner, a surprise opponent against one of the other guys there, one of the local talents. And that was real fun seeing him come out. And the guy has not an ounce of body fat on him. I don't know what the heck this guy does, but sit in a gym and work out. But Tommy Dreamer was a highlight, and of course, meeting the Rockers was a highlight because I definitely think everyone should go out and see the Rockers, the Rock and Roll Express. That's what I mean. The Rock and Roll Express, Hall of Famers. They're on their farewell tour. It's going to be the end of at least Ricky Morton and Robert Gibson. Ricky Morton's going to concentrate more on his son's career, as everybody well knows. We see him in NWA. We see him in the USA show. And that was awesome. So it started with a call, though, this week to Bust It Open, where Tommy was on, and I said I was going to make some pasta and sauce. And I said, would you like some? And he said, yeah. So I brought him really a family style dinner. So I hope him and his family, Bueller and the twins, enjoyed it. Compliments of the Nation's Corner here and Mongrovian Mike. And but the highlight for me really was backstage, hanging out with Tommy Dreamer and just talking to him, and him recognizing me and Neil, and saying, hey, he was stopping when he was coming out, hey, take a couple of selfies. He goes, all right, I'll see you guys after. And we're like, oh wow. And then he was fighting against, we thought, his good friend Danny Doring, but they have a beef with each other, I guess. And he grabbed my Hydra head sign and bopped him over the head with it. So that was a pretty golden moment for me to get the fat head taken away and bopped Tommy Dreamer especially taking it and bopping it overhead. That's a good highlight. That goes right up there with when La Rosa Negra grabbed it from Gaza. Yeah, the fatheads make their rounds and they get abused. We know they've been through tables, they've been hit with chairs, and now they've been doused with beer. And who was it? MJF scarf. His head went through some torture. Poor David LaGreca. Oh my God. Anyway, that was that, and just hanging out with Tommy Dreamer and talking to him back behind the curtain and hanging out backstage and just reminiscing and just talking like regular people. And what touched me was our good friend Neil, when Tommy said I'll be right back, and then it kind of hit Neil, and he's like, he is a guy that even though he's 15 years or whatever older than he is, it hit him. This is a local guy, and he's like an icon to a lot of people, especially to us. And his eyes were welling up with tears. And I said, well, don't worry, man. That's Tommy. I mean, Tommy cries at the drop of a hat anyway. So it's all good. It's not like you were there with Bully, but it really touched me that I had a special moment with my buddy Neil, and we had a good night, and that was it. Free beer, VIP drinks. And when he found out the VIP bar went till 10, he was like, whoa. He was in heaven.
That's cool, man. It sounds like you guys had a good time. And yeah, so that's the Busted Open Hydra heads are everywhere. Tony mentioned in the chat that Thunder Rosa's taken his and used that. Mine was taken away at a Ring of Honor show by Dalton Castle, who at the time was having a conversation with Violetta LaGreca, and that was fun. Yeah, we've seen him everywhere. They've been in the end of.
I perished the thought of thinking about what Dalton Castle did to that big head.
he just kissed it and handed it back. So
hey,
yeah. So my Hydra head was anointed by Dalton Castle. But yeah, so and I also did want to give a shout out and not forgetting our friend obviously Trenda and my friend Ref Marsh, who's been on this show. We're at GCW this weekend. They were at the GCW Heartbreak and the GCW Coldest Winter, which is tonight. It looked like last night's show was an absolute blast. We were all watching together last night, doing a watch along, and it was awesome. So shout out to Trenda and Marsh. I hope they have a good time tonight. We're going to briefly run down that card as well. So let's take a quick look at the GCW card. So for tonight. Pretty exciting. Blake Christian versus Mike Bailey, and Speedball Mike Bailey had a match against Ninja Mac last night that was off the chart. They had the ladder climbing up to the second floor. Ninja Mac got thrown off the ledge onto a door. All kinds of crazy stuff. Oh yeah, Chris mentions too that Matt from North Carolina and Jordan are at the MLW taping tonight here in Charlotte.
Listen, cool. that MLW, on a side note, MLW is really, I suggest everybody check it out. It's on YouTube. Find it, subscribe. The Court Power, they're doing a great job, and I really love what they're doing with Hammerstone, because you got Holiday and Alicia Toot are together, and they turned heel on Hammerstone. So you got that heating up, and you also got Fatu, which is what Fatu is going through is a really great, a great story that he's telling, and it's so honest and true with him. His vignettes, I highly suggest people check them out. Go check them out.
Yeah, it looks like a pretty good show. Enzo, that's going to be there. Like you said, Hammerstone. I don't understand why Hammerstone isn't on like global television at this point. The dude is jacked. He's a great wrestler. Yeah, so we'll see some more. Chris says go check out their Twitters and tag the Nation's Corner. So check out our socials as well. But other matches on the card tonight: Ninja Mac and Jake Cartwheel. Dark Sheik and Atticus Cogar. So this is going to be interesting because Atticus Cogar is a beast. Like, he's a monster. And he's just one of those guys. He's not a big guy, but he is just a hardcore, like, real gritty wrestler. And Dark Sheik's had a couple of really strong matches too with Nick Gage. She had that death match with Nick Gage not that long ago. Jimmy Lloyd and Alex Zane. But the match I think we're all looking forward to tonight is Tony Deppen versus Thunder Rosa. And we know that Thunder's a big fan of intergender wrestling. We've seen her wrestle a whole bunch of people. She's wrestled Sammy Guevara a few times. Go look that up on YouTube. Great matches. And I know I'm expecting this to be one of those show stealer, people are going to be talking about it tomorrow, kind of matches.
Well, can I give a word on intergender matches, because as someone who looked at it differently, up until a couple of years ago, and then I started seeing a few matches, and as long as they make sense, and it's when they're done well, they're done well. Like if you watch some of the Matt Cardona against Jordan Grace right now with the digital championship going on to Matt Cardona, that is, it's done well. And also you could of course Bussy.
Oh my goodness, yeah.
When you talk about GCW, if you're worried about intergender matches, watch a tag match with them. Go ahead.
Yeah. Alley Catch and Effie, man. Oof.
Yeah. Well, even to add to it, Dave LaGreca and Thunder Rosa, they meshed perfectly with their match out in Buda, and they continued on their storyline, but their storyline was said and done perfect. It was set up so smooth. You got in it, you got involved, and you were pulled in to see what they were going to do.
I think.
Yeah, HiJacker. I'll agree with you, HiJacker, that it was a great story. It was a lot of fun. That wasn't an intergender match. That was Thunder beating the shit out of Dave.
That's what I was going to say. I was going to say that was Dave taking a good beating.
We got to give Dave some credit here. We got to give Dave some credit, since now they're best friends.
Yeah. Thank goodness. I don't think the venue. I don't think the venues could handle any more carnage at that point after the last pay-per-view. Shout out to Brian Rose in the chat. I see Brian's in there tonight. We've got Neil and Chris and Mrs. Front Row. We've got Debhausen and Tony. There's just the whole crew is in here tonight.
So to the whole family.
Appreciate everybody joining us tonight. So let's move on. So the other thing I wanted to talk about with regards to GCW is, the tickets for the collective went on sale for WrestleMania weekend. And if you look, we talked about it last week. They've got, I think, 12 advertised shows over the course of 3 days. But we sponsor Mission Pro Wrestling. We're big supporters of Mission Pro Wrestling, and they have a prime spot. They are on a Saturday in the middle of the afternoon, 3 p.m. It's after Effie's Gig Gay brunch. It's before WrestleMania starts. It's in the prime location.
Yes.
And, I don't think a lot has been advertised with regards to matches yet, but the buzz that I'm hearing is it's going to be a weekend stealing show. Some of the rumored names for that show will definitely get people excited. And as Mission Pro starts to advertise and make public some of those names and matches, I think you guys are going to be really excited. So keep an eye out. And of course, next weekend is on March 5th is No Debes Jugar. I always get the pronunciation wrong.
No Debes Jugar.
Not cigar, Jugar.
Not cigar.
And that's going to be a great match. That's going to be a great show too. And I think tickets are still on sale. There's still some tickets available for that. So if you are in the Conroe area, I highly recommend, getting tickets, because it's a really fun show. If you've ever been to a Mission Pro show live, the energy in the room is incredible. Oh, I see Chris has got some bougie cigars.
Oh yeah.
We got to get her some Cuban cigars for that weekend. Somebody get Chris some Cuban cigars. HiJacker.
I can do that.
Hey,
I can do that.
Front row. 35 days from now is WrestleMania, but it's also, like you said, the GCW collective is or the Mission Pro, at least the Mission Pro is 35 days from now. Bangers.
That's exactly
only, right.
Bangers only, man. It's going to be a killer show. I think tickets are selling extremely quickly. So if you are going to be there WrestleMania weekend, probably want to get your tickets pretty soon. Go to missionprowrestling.net. And there, if you want to get the weekend pass, there's also the GCW. I think it's GCW Collective 2020. I forget. I think that's the Twitter handle. You can go find it on the Game Changer Wrestling site if you're buying a ticket for the whole weekend.
We need to give them some Easter eggs, man. I mean, really. I mean, it's so tempting, isn't it? I mean,
it's tempting, but you know, and yeah, until I get some clearance from the people at Mission Pro, can't say anything.
I want an Easter egg. I want an Easter egg. I want an Easter egg. I just wanted to do that flashback to Bugs Bunny.
Well, Brian's in the chat. If there's something he wants to drop, if he wants to drop a Brian bomb, that's up to him. If he wants to
drop Easter eggs and let the nation try and guess, let him.
It's not on me. I am not going to have Thunder Rosa calling me, yelling at me. Y'all can worry about that.
That's right. He ain't Paul Heyman. He ain't dropping spoilers.
Just predictions, right?
That's just predictions.
So before we dive more into the wrestling talk, tomorrow is National Cigar Day, and the three of us are cigar smokers. And there's a bunch of folks in our group. Oh my goodness, you know, Chris and Trenda and Money Mark and Steve and Neil and who am I missing?
John
from South Jersey.
Yep. So we've got the Busted Open Cigar Club, hashtag Busted Open Cigar Club. If you search that hashtag, you'll see all of us have posted pictures from the last year and changed from all the different events we've been at, even just stuff that we do throughout the day, even just a daily smoke. There's a lot of great stuff on Twitter and on Facebook too. But I did want to ask you guys, so like for me, you know, having a nice cigar with friends is one of those memories that makes it, right?
Yeah.
We've had the opportunity, I think, like for me, HiJacker, when we met up in Buda last year for Locked and Loaded, for MPW Locked and Loaded, that was the first time you and I had a cigar together.
Definitely.
And we brought some special smokes. I think we had some 660s, some bones. You brought some special stuff too.
Yeah,
I remember what they were.
I had a CAO Vision. It was a $45 cigar. The picture we took together. What was the dance hall we were at?
Mavericks.
Yeah. When we took our picture there, I was smoking a $45 stick because I felt that was an appropriate time to have a celebration stick. You know, I still have 3 more in my humidor, but I'm not touching them until proper fit ado.
Yeah. So what's one memory that you have, maybe either from our group or even from, you know, even from since you've been smoking, that stands out to you?
Well, since I've been smoking cigars off and on since 2001, having a great stick among friends is one of my best. And when I was able to sit with everybody, even sitting with you in Buda was great because we got to, but it was just us. Trenda was there. I think Trenda just got started into smoking cigars with us around that time, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
But when we were in Baltimore back in October, that had to be the highlight of my time smoking a cigar with great friends and family. I can go to my lounge. I can smoke with the homies there anytime. That's every day. I get to see my homies at the lounge every day. Great group of dudes, great group of women that come in through there and smoke with us and enjoy a cigar. But when it comes to the nation, nothing better than getting a big group of 30 plus people and we're sitting there. Everybody that loves a cigar is smoking their favorite cigar and we're all sitting together at the same exact time, firing a stick up.
Nice. I got to put a pin in that for a second. Brian drops a Brian bomb in here for us. Let me pull this up on the screen. Masha Slamovich has been announced. Let's just say she needs to prepare for a snowy day.
Ooh.
Ooh. Interesting. Just the fact that Masha's on the card already means it's going to be a banger.
Oh,
so
it will be.
Yeah. Man, who could her opponent be?
Masha,
Y'all in the throw some.
Masha
Throw
is
some.
just one of my favorites right now on the scene. Definitely.
All right, so let's see in the chat. You guys throw in your suggestions or your best guesses, and we can neither confirm nor deny them. But let's see what you got. Elder, what's one of your fonder memories of enjoying cigars with friends or what have you?
Oh, right. If I just gonna say hi, Mom, because she said hi to me on the chat. You know, like Hijacker said, really smoking with friends, like with you guys. And my preferred is right now. My favorite is the 660. I just like that. I like the box press. You know, it's just the right fit, and it's a good smoke. So you can't. There's no complaints with those. And I gotta say, really, the first time being able to sit there and light up a cigar with my busted open cigar club family, you know, the full one. The first time was cool, but then the second time being able to be there with Hijacker and Trender and you and Chris, and it was just a really good time. And going back to what Chris said in the chat about the therapeutic, you know, I don't know what her name was, but she lost somebody dear to her, who was the owner of the cigar store, the cigar lounge that she's a member of. And so, you know, we're going to get together and light a cigar. Everybody light a cigar in that lady's memory. Chris can put her name up in the chat. And we just got to give out a shout to her and some hugs to her. Definitely. She's been going through a rough time. And the cigars, Mina was her name. There you go. So Miss Mina. Yeah. So
got some prayers.
Yeah. Much love to Chris, and it's a tough thing to go through, and you lose someone special like that.
Shout out to her and her family, Miss Mina's family, and they're gonna go on running the lounge, and Chris will be there smoking it up in her honor. So,
yep, no doubt, and I echo your sentiments with regards to like the big groups that we've gotten together. You know, we took that group photo in Baltimore against the fence, and you guys can find it on our social media, and I'll retweet it later from the show account. But it's a great shot of, I think, 7 or 8 of us together with all our busted open merch and our cigars, and it's a bright sunny day. And of course, we figured out how to use portrait mode, which was like the new toy that weekend. And okay, so 2 things real quick.
Uh-oh.
Mrs. Front Row says, where'd she go? Hang on a second. She is. She may be guessing a Lindsay Snow appearance. Who knows? She's returning soon, or may have just returned. I don't know. I wouldn't mind seeing Masha versus Lindsay. Absolutely not. That would be incredible. Brian also says, imagine Holiday's opponent is even more violent than Holiday.
Oh, can we even get that?
Well, I don't know that that's a thing, but okay.
Wow.
Wow, is it Brock Lesnar? I mean,
oh wow, yeah, that I mean, would be crazy.
You have to ratchet up pretty high to be more violent than Holiday. Okay, my interest is definitely peaked. Yeah. So folks, if you do smoke, enjoy National Cigar Day tomorrow. Wherever you are, hopefully the weather's warm. You get to go outside and do your thing. If not, you know, go out and sneak a quick one. Whatever you're doing. Shane McMahon. I don't think it's Shane McMahon. This is Front Row says Shane.
It's Veer.
It's Veer. Okay, so I did want to pick you guys' brains on a couple of things this week. We saw some killer promos this week, and you know, we talk about promos and we talk about good promos versus like great promos. And for me, the ones that feel the realest, the ones that really delve into or touch upon personal stories, real life things, are the ones that resonate most with me. I don't need people to go into like childhood and telling personal stories about wives and kids and stuff like that. But when like for example, when Punk and Kingston had their promo, like they got real. Like I felt like there was like a fundamental battle between those two guys because they had so much history. And so we saw a couple this week that and I want to save the best for last. I wanted to talk to you guys about Jericho and Kingston because, and folks said that Chris Jericho got the better of that exchange. But if you've ever seen Eddie Kingston, and we've seen him live, and he can cut a promo like nobody else because he's as real gets. I feel like Kingston let up. Like, I don't think he brought all the firepower to that battle. So I'll be interested to see where it progresses. But Jericho spoke about how Kingston was an indie wrestler. Never made it to the big time until recently and all that other stuff. So do you guys feel like, did that take away from the accomplishments of Eddie Kingston, or does it just garner more sympathy for him?
No, I don't think so. I think Eddie has made a name for himself. And when he was injured a few years ago with the baseball bat in Impact, right? That brought a little more to him, but he was already a great wrestler at that time. I've been following him for years, and I've been a fan of his. I've met him twice when Kurt with BTW brought Impact out, and he came out both shows. And the first one I met him was, I think, months after he came back wrestling from the injury. And, we got to sit and talk about it. And, he was like, no, I'm fine talking about it. And I said, I don't want to bring up something that may be a touchy subject. And he's like, no, it's just a freak accident that just accidentally went wrong. And he had no ill will at the time towards it. But I think he can hold his own. And this is going to be one hell of a matchup if these two go at it, in my opinion.
Mike?
Well, I see here in the chat that the Bronx Gaming thought the Kingston laughed too many times for my liking, took me out of it. I don't know if he took me out of it. I would say that it probably wasn't his best promo, but I mean, it was a damn good freaking promo. I mean, it's like, I don't know. It's just when he's out there and he's talking to me, it was like, Chris said in the chat that Jericho was hitting below the belt. Well, that might have hit below the belt, and then it just like gets him a second, and and he just builds up his heat. But yeah, they made me want to see it now. Now at least I know more, because in the beginning it was like, well, what's Jericho and Kingston's problem, right? Weren't we thinking that a few weeks back? But now you see it. It's just another wrestler that went, uptown or up north to the champagne cocktails and caviar. And when Kingston was left in the Indies. So it's just the same thing. It's just saying if that might be getting a little bit too much, because it's always going to be I made it and you didn't. You're just a loser. So they've got to kick that up a little bit more. But I just love how the way they both looked, because Kingston was all in his like I dress. Roll out of bed and put on the sneakers, and that's it, and Jericho is all like, how do I live? On a side note too, the heck is this Jericho? What is he doing? One day he looks like me with the belly, and then the next day he looks like EC3. It's like, what the hell is going on with? What is he doing? Is he, And another side note, I just want to know, HiJacker, have you been docked in your pay yet when your lounge realize how many sticks you smoke of theirs there, man?
No, they don't do that, man. I get more sticks from the patrons, from the folks that come and hang out at the lounge, because we close at 9 and I'll hang out until 10:30 during the week. But like last night, I didn't come home till 1 o'clock in the morning kept it open.
Dude, now
They
that's a fans only I can agree with, man.
Hey, they were barbecuing. They come in. I come in. There's food for me on the table. Barbecue ribs, sandwiches, everything. You know, everybody loves it down there, and everybody's just there to have fun, man. So I get sticks left and right. I get my free stick from the shift, and I get free sticks from the folks that come and sit in there and make that place great.
I think you could get Kingston and Jericho together there and have a piece. You know, you could have a piece of cord there. Barbecue and sticks. Few, pop open a few, little bit of the bubbly.
Oh yeah. Let's do that, man. Let's call Tony up and get that set up out here right away.
But just one of the things that we talk about is like those little things that make the promos feel real. If you listen to Talk is Jericho, when Eddie Kingston first debuted in AEW, he was on Talk is Jericho. Mm-hmm. And Jericho did a completely out of character interview with him. And Jericho said, when I heard your name, I thought they were talking about Eddie Edwards. That's a real thing he said on a podcast over a year ago. So for him to bring that little Easter egg into the promo, and he wasn't being mean. He was just like, I didn't know your name. I didn't know who you were at that time. And at the time, he's like, I've since become aware of you and become a big fan. So when he said that in the promo, my brain's like, okay, that connected that dot from a podcast from a year and change ago. So that stuff really bites in for me. One of the other, hang on. Brian's dropping more hints here. Hang on. We might also debut the largest tag team in women's history. Okay. Huh. All right. I'll let you guys stew on that one. A lot of options there. There's a lot of, bigger, more physical competitors out there. People we've seen in Mission Pro, we've not seen in Mission Pro. Okay, interesting.
There might be a Thunder Rosa tweet quote you want to put up there too. If you scroll out, it made me pop a second ago. I'm sorry.
Yeah, man, I seen it.
There she is. Tell Brian cut back on the salad. And the diet waters. Don't forget about the diet waters.
The extra large diet waters.
So I have two more promos that I want to touch on. Actually, three, but one is I rarely speak ill of anybody in their performances because I feel like I haven't been there and done that. I'm not qualified to make these statements, right? I've never wrestled a match, but I've spoken before. And we saw a contract signing last night on Rampage with Thunder Rosa and Britt Baker. And if you watch that, it felt Britt's segment felt extraordinarily scripted, and it didn't really make sense, some of the stuff that she was saying. On the other side, Thunder didn't get an opportunity to speak a whole lot, and she didn't get an opportunity to come back at her with the rebuttal after the promo. I know there was some physicality after the match, and all that stuff was good and exciting. And by the way, Mercedes Martinez looked incredible, beating the crap out of Jamie Hayter, like badass in street clothes, all that good stuff. Give me more Mercedes Martinez.
Yeah. But
I feel like, so as we head into Revolution and this match is now official, if they're building sympathy for Thunder, she has to win the title, right? Because after last night's promo, it just made Britt look like they positioned her to be a bigger star than she even is now. And I don't think that it did a whole lot to drive the story forward. I would have liked to have seen Thunder get an opportunity to fire back at Britt, because we know she can. And she was talking shit through the whole promo without the mic. If you go back and watch that, she was talking through the whole thing, and her facial expressions, anybody who's been around Thunder, in day-to-day life, that's an angry Thunder Rosa. That is not a character. That is a very angry individual. And I believe 100% that the two of them do not like each other, and this is going to be a war at Revolution. But I do think that they could have done more to build that. Did you guys both saw this contract signing?
Oh, yeah.
I didn't get a chance to see that one just yet.
Okay.
It was on Rampage, yeah. I saw it. I saw it twice, and Yeah, you're right. It's like, why didn't Thunder get the usual chance to say so? Usually goes back and forth. I mean, we know we've know the contract signings 101. What happened though? You're right. She was talking back and forth, but no mic for her. And Britt was just saying a bunch of nonsense, I guess. Just.
Well, and so this is one of the things that bugs me to no end. Like, I understand everyone wants to position themselves or portray themselves as being the best, right? And if you don't believe you're the best, why are you even in this thing? However, Britt Baker's out here telling everybody in the world that she's the face of women's wrestling. Well, she only wrestles a handful of matches on AEW and nowhere else. There are other women in positions, and we talk about Thunder Rosa because tonight she's on GCW wrestling a killer match on pay-per-view. She's going to be, she performs regularly on independent shows all over the country, in other countries. She was recently in Puerto Rico, all over the world, opportunities in Japan. And how can they position Britt to be the face of women's wrestling when she's not even at the level of a lot of the WWE women who don't even wrestle outside their company? You know what I mean? So that on a personal level, it bothers me. So I put a tweet out on Wednesday during Dynamite. It got, passed around a little. I got some traction on that, but like, I feel very passionate about that. And, we're biased because we know Brian and Thunder a little bit, but even as a fan, you hear stuff like that and you go, that's disingenuous. That's not accurate. You're not out there representing. She's not out there representing women and women's wrestling. She's representing Britt and just Britt, right? And it's just, it pisses me off. It pisses me off for our friends, for the other women on the roster who are working really hard. There's other women on that roster who are signed who work independent shows. People who are unsigned that are on the show regularly. Kylan King has been on AEW a ton of times, killing it. And she's been, she's all over the place, holding titles in multiple companies. We just saw Robin Renegade facing Britt recently, and she's one half of the Mission Pro and the CCW Tag Team Champions. So to say that Britt is the face of women's wrestling just really rubs me the wrong way.
Without a doubt. I mean, we've been saying it. Yeah, everybody was paying attention to Britt more with that unsanctioned match. We all know that's a load of crap. Really, just because it was unsanctioned. Britt got her ass handed to her by Thunder. Thunder is the one that's making a lot of these people look like $1 million out there, and that's what we know. That's what I know as a fan watching it. That's look at what we were just talking about Jade the other day. That too. She made Jade look like $1 million.
Yeah, and I have no doubt that Jade's putting the work in. I mean, yes. I don't know her personally. I don't know anything that goes on behind the scenes, but obviously she's getting better. She's progressing, so she must be training and working hard. She's a good representative of that company and that brand, but it's not like she's on the indies wrestling 5-star matches. You know what I mean?
Yes, and it's no disrespect at all. No disrespect at all. I mean, yeah, these women they do put their bodies on the line and they do a lot. But I mean, you got to look at what's going on there. Thunder Rosa she's got it. There's more than that. It's what she does outside of the ring, how she portrays herself, how she acts, how she treats her fans, and how she treats the other people. I mean, look at there's the orange crush, right there.
Mm-hmm.
No, it could have been a whole article about her and a whole picture about pictorial about her. So it was an article about her, but then it was about Mission Pro, and it like plugged every single woman in Mission Pro, and like you said, and that's because of that's because of the culture that Thunder Rosa creates,
Yeah.
and that's what she wants to create in the locker room, in her life, personal, professional, and that's that's what everyone should aspire to.
Yeah. Thunder is the face of wrestling. Look at her. She's all over the place. Like you said, Front Row. She just wrestled in Puerto Rico. She runs MPW. She's on AEW. Yeah. She's been all over. She came out of BTW. She was a manager for Kakameng, one of the hottest wrestlers that is, when he's on the mic, he kills the game. Thunder Rosa is the face of women's wrestling today, right now. She's all over. She is over. She's popular. People, when you say Thunder Rosa, people know who she is off top.
That's right. And nobody can keep her out of Puerto Rico either. Nobody.
Nobody. Not even Ivelisse. If you go look at that tweet.
Who?
Long story. Anyway, no, and that's the thing too. Like even recently, Thunder and Athena had a knockdown drag out war over that Warrior Wrestling title just a week and a half ago. Thunder wrestled in Puerto Rico, and she had this match. She's had, I think, 4 big matches, and then tonight she's got this GCW match. I mean, she's killing it everywhere. And it's not just her. There are other women out there who are doing big things on the independent scene. There are people who are out there representing women's wrestling in a much better way. So I'm going to get off my soapbox, but, again, not to pull the curtain back too far, but, being friends with Thunder and Brian and the people at Mission Pro and seeing everything that they've built over there, to see someone like Britt on TV saying that she's the face of women's wrestling, it's like, I don't freaking think so. No, it ain't you. So, all right, let's move on. I do want to talk about this MJF promo because, oh my God, was this incredible. I did not expect to see what we saw. I figured we were going to get another true heel promo from MJF. He was going to say some crap about Punk. And what we got was like a promo that made me feel like for the first time ever, I saw actual Maxwell, like the guy behind the character. And I think we talk about the best heels in wrestling. MJF is up there, but like we still know he's playing a character. Like there's still a part of me that understands he's a character. However, this promo now told me, oh no, this is all part of the same guy. Like, so if you go back, watch that like carefully and watch his facial expressions and watch his energy and the way that he was talking about Punk and how disappointed and all this stuff, and even talking about growing up being Jewish. And I thought it was really powerful. And if you didn't know the character was a heel, a bad guy, you would still think it was one of the best babyface promos that we've seen on TV in a long time. So, HiJacker, you saw this promo, yeah?
Yes. Man, I thought MJF was going to go to tears. There were times where it looked like he legitimately was going to have tears in his eyes. Talking about he had ADHD every day and going to school was hell. He put his heart and soul into that promo, in my opinion. He took a step back to probably what, Punk's pipe bomb, and just he put it out there. This was probably the best promo that these two have had face to face together since things have started. The crowd was starting off not interested, but then the crowd seemed to turn a little bit in the middle. And then when he walked away from Punk, because for a minute I thought they was going to give each other a hug, but I could be wrong. But when he stepped out and walked away, then that's when the crowd kind of came back to reality and said, okay, MJF is the scumbag he is. So they everything went back to, okay, let's get this match on again. Let's go.
But Mark talked about it on the show this morning when MJF turned and he just turned slightly to the hard cam. He had a tear and he was visibly shaken. And Punk, and for the first time maybe ever, Punk took me out of the moment with what he said. He came into the ring without a mic and said, is this true what you're saying? The way he said it was very like, it was kind of scripted. It kind of made me feel like that's not really what you would say in the moment.
Yeah.
But it's fine. It was very minor because I think it was good that they didn't have him come in and use a mic. It was all very organic the way that the sound was done there. But go back and watch the very end of that. MJF had a tear in his eye, and you could see him welling up during the promo.
Yes.
So it just felt super real to me. Before we go on, Brian's dropping more hints.
Uh-oh.
Janai Kai kicks so hard, I believe she could kick through steel.
Could that could that match that could be one of the matches that steals the show.
It could be. Man. Yeah, that's going to be interesting. Okay, so and of course the big one from last night for me was Roman Reigns and Brock Lesnar, and I say it every week. Brock Lesnar is doing the best work of his career. He's an actual, not even a character. Like, we're getting like real life Brock Lesnar, and people that we know that have met him or that know him a little bit have said that's the guy. Like, that's the actual guy that we're seeing on TV now. That's not a character. Like, it's just him having fun. But he still beat the crap out of a whole bunch of security guards. Like, laid an ass whooping on those guys. And Roman cut this promo that was like, and we're normally Roman's very low key, he's very head of the table. And he's like, oh no, you're all mistaken. Like, y'all belong to me. Like, you're all here because of me. And he went through everything, the announce table, the announcers, the fans, the cameramen. He's like, these are all my people. And it was almost like a good guy promo. Like, these are my people. But what he was talking about was, these are my followers. And he sort of has this, Roman has this opinion of himself of everybody bowing down and acknowledging him, right? But of course, Brock's not having any of that. Did you guys see this segment?
Yeah, he's entering the Jim Jones territory. He wants everyone to acknowledge him.
Yeah, and it's one of those things where, God, I just can't believe this is the guy that was getting booed because he was doing the suffering succotash stuff, and he was having good matches back then.
Don't forget Tater Tots.
Thank you. And here we are, like a year and a half, 2 years later, and he's one of the best pure characters on TV. I totally buy him as a sociopathic mob leader, gangster, whatever you want to call it. Like, he just has this perfect tone, and I totally believe everything he's saying right now. It's some of the best work that I think anybody's doing in the WWE right now.
Oh yeah, and you have to perk your ears up. Remember, we were nervous because this character started during the Thunderdome and everything was closed down, so you were able to hear his every dulcet tone, every whisper and everything, and you were able to focus in and see. Another thing you have to do with this is always keep one eye on Paul Heyman and his facial expressions and mannerisms, because like if he blinks an eye, it's for that story, as far as I'm concerned. Whatever he does is to further that story and get people more engrossed.
I didn't get to see this promo. I'm gonna run it back sometime tonight. But these two guys, the way they are on the mic, Brock is a genius on the mic on his own. For years with Paul Heyman, we never knew what kind of skills Brock had on the mic. But right now, seeing Happy Brock is just as exciting as seeing, what is this, Evil Roman, or however you want to call him. It's just as good as to see. And this right here is like I said, this is what WWE has to do to bring in fans to watch. This is must-see WWE right here. And this right now, SmackDown, is smacking the hell out of Raw off the charts. And this is must-see television, and this is drawing me in.
Yeah, and it's interesting the way that Heyman sort of orchestrated all this stuff. But when Brock is speaking, I 100% believe that no matter what they gave him, he threw it out the window and said, no, I'm going to go do whatever I want. And maybe he does, maybe he doesn't. I don't know. I would assume that he probably has that leeway, but he's not a proven commodity on the mic until recently.
Mm-hmm.
But, I mean, he just gets out there. The way that he does his own Paul Heyman intro, WWE World Heavyweight Champion Brock Lesnar. He does a whole thing that Paul used to do. He does it himself, and it's entertaining as hell.
Yeah.
It's funny to see him doing his own intro.
I like the fact that when he comes out, he's interacting with fans now. That's exciting to see, because for years he didn't high five fans, he didn't acknowledge the fans. That's good TV right there to watch Brock go high five fans, take pictures with them. That's great, man.
Yeah, he's only thrown car doors at fans before.
Yeah,
that's about as much as I've seen, and people threw the barricade at fans, but now he's taking selfies, and he's just coming out and he's looking like he just he just got off the boat, fishing, coming over. Okay, let me go to work. Okay, I'm done here. Let me go back and let me go hunt some moose. I mean, like when he was threatening what's his name there? When he was threatening Adam Pearce about we're gonna go hunt the moose. I actually believed that, he definitely killed the 3,000-pound moose before he came back and fought those people. But when he went through the security camera guys and just everything, it just
the one guy he threw the chair at.
It's the best Brock. It's the best Brock ever. Yeah,
he literally threw one of the big chairs at the guy in the corner. Oh man!
This isn't that part-time Brock. This isn't that part-time every 3 months. I mean, people get pissed off. Remember, because he wasn't even on Raw. What didn't you say? This was the first time he had a match on Raw. This past like a month ago was the first time he had a match on Raw in like years.
Brock hasn't had a match on Raw yet since 2002 against Tommy Dreamer. He hasn't had one yet.
Oh my God! Oh,
his last match was in the Attitude Era on Raw. The show that he was a champion of for over 800 days, by the way. Anyway, but so one quick thing, and Chris will get this. He reminds me, Roman reminds me of Marlo Stanfield. And if you've ever seen The Wire, Marlo Stanfield was the bad guy in the later seasons. And he was a sociopath, completely devoid of any sort of empathy or feeling or sympathy for the people that he had to deal with to further his enterprises. And the way that Marlo Stanfield carries himself in that show, really Roman carries himself the same way. Very quiet, very unassuming. We're going to take care of this. We're going to go over there. We're going to kill this guy. You go take care of that. And it's all just very checklisty, right? So that's to more than some of the killers that we see in movies. That's that real quiet, very confident, reserved thing that I get from Roman, and I dig it totally. And we weren't really sure that he was going to be able to bring that character from the no fans era to the, back to the fans era, because he was cutting promos that were very quiet and didn't rely on, or didn't have any interruptions from the crowd. But he's done it brilliantly. Oh, I see Steven's in the chat. Hey, Steven. Hope you're having fun out in Vegas, brother.
Have fun out there.
He's having a blast in Vegas. Yeah.
Nice.
Metallica, yeah.
He's out here in the West enjoying some rock music, man.
Yeah.
Have fun, brother.
Got some Billy Joel tonight. Metallica and Billy Joel are two. Billy Joel tonight.
Billy Joel tonight, Metallica tomorrow?
Metallica was last night.
Metallica was last night, and the night before was Dirty Honey. And
Greta Van Fleet.
All right, Dirty Money. Okay.
Good for him getting out there and enjoying things he likes to do, man. Getting out there.
That's our boy Steven. Man. Yes.
Okay, so
the nation is ubiquitous all over the place.
So before we wrap up, I want to touch on one more thing, and I'm going to pull the curtain back from our group just a little bit, and apologies to anybody, but this was really fun. So last week when we saw the House of Black vignette a week and a half ago on Dynamite, it was really dark. They had the tarot cards and all that stuff. we were in our group trying to figure out who the person was. There was a person in the shadow behind us. And if you were in the room, shout out to Sean and shout out to Andre, because they did a frame by frame analysis of the tarot cards, the order in which the tarot cards were put out, and just tried to figure out who this person was based on this like complete like cinematic breakdown of the vignette. It was some of the funniest stuff I've seen in a long time, and folks in the chat who were in there can confirm. But we found out this week that it was Buddy Matthews, and man, I've seen, we saw Buddy Matthews and then Aleister Black have some absolute killer matches in NXT and in WWE. And, we were at WrestleCade in November and saw them have a 45-minute classic. And if you get a chance, go on Title Match Network and watch that match. It is incredible. So to see those guys together, I mean, Buddy Matthews has joined the House of Black, which is great for now. But that only means down the road we're going to get them in an AEW ring. And yes, please.
And what about the moves that Brody King, that big guy, is doing too? I mean, it's unreal. It's about time somebody too. The new. Oh, what was he calling himself? Penta.
Oh, yeah, it wasn't Penta El Ziedo Miedo. It was what was the new name? Crap, I can't remember. But yeah. Nope, Brian says he needs to take a nap before GCW. Yeah, GCW West Coast starts at 11 tonight, so we'll probably be up late watching that.
Oh yeah, we'll be hanging and banging later on watching that.
Yeah.
The Penta Obscura.
Penta Obscura. Thanks, RA. Appreciate you.
RA is the man. We love our RA.
Yeah, there's Google and there's RA, and not necessarily in that order.
Yeah.
And then there's RA Googling himself. Oh!
We're trying to keep it PG, sir.
Yes,
sir.
Yeah.
Sorry.
So a lot of other stuff happened. Bangers only. A lot of other cool stuff happened. I did want to mention, Charlotte and Ronda, they had Sonya Deville, they had some stuff go on, and don't need to talk about that too much. But go look at Ronda's vlog. She resumed doing her Ronda on the Road vlog from when she was her time in WWE. It's only like 5 minutes long, but it's 100% out of character. She talks about working with Paul Heyman. She talks about really hating the fans when she left because they were booing her out of the building. And it took her some time to really come to the grips with the fact that you want to get booed as a bad guy because she got to turn heel before she left. And this run, she's really enjoying. And she's going out there and just feeling the crowd. And it was cool to hear her perspective on returning and sort of what she was very apprehensive about the reaction she was going to get when she came back at the Rumble. And of course, she got a huge reaction. So I'm hoping that they continue to tell good stories. I'm a little bummed that they mixed up the matches for WrestleMania. I don't know that Charlotte and Ronda, they're probably the two bigger stars. Obviously, Ronda being a household name, but I still want to see Becky and Ronda. But Becky's not really of the mind to go down that road right now. Maybe that'll be a SummerSlam match. I don't know. But so yeah, go check that out. And the last thing I want to mention is, for folks that are signed up to Thunder Rosa's Patreon, she dropped a lot of stuff this week. Some photos. She posted a really cool photo of her and Sting in face paint. And if I get permission to post that on the socials, I will. But go check out the Patreon for that, and all the unedited, uncut, full-length versions of the vlog, the travel vlog, the taco vlog. She posts directly to her fans in there, and it's a lot of fun. So you get to see a bunch of behind-the-scenes stuff with AEW, Mission Pro, GCW, her time in Puerto Rico. So if you like that, like behind-the-scenes stuff, there's a lot of it there, and it's really interesting.
Yeah. Hey, Front Row, you mind if I add something real quick?
Yeah, please.
About a promo. I want to talk about a promo real quick with you guys, and I want the nation's opinion as well. Ms. TV, you guys caught Ms. TV this past Monday night, correct?
Yeah.
Yes.
How many of you guys and the nation were fooled when the Miz was talking and he said dashing? He said
That was
gassed me in his
interesting.
promo. And it had me, I was in the kitchen fixing my dinner, and I pulled my stuff off the stove and threw it on the hot pots on the counter, and I turned and he had my ear. But then when I saw who eventually came down, I went back into the kitchen. But for that brief moment, I thought he was talking about a certain American nightmare for a brief minute.
Yeah, there were several hints to Cody this week, both in, I think Edge referenced it in his promo. It was referenced on commentary. It was referenced in Miz's promo. They could be just trolling the fans. Who knows?
Or
but
due time.
Yeah, I mean, but yeah, that's a good catch. God, we talked about this last week on the show. If Cody does go to WWE, where is he a good fit? Right now, the landscape's all wonky because everybody's locked into WrestleMania storylines. If he showed up on Raw next week, it would be weird. I'm sure they'd figure something out, but I would save him if, in fact, he goes there. Which who really knows? That to me is a Raw after Mania debut.
A good fit would be that folding money. He's going to be having a stuff in each pocket. That's what a good fit is going to be, because if he shows up in WWE, it's because somebody showed him some Skrilla. That's right. I know the hood lingo.
Skrilla scratch. What you know about that, right, Mongrovian?
Man. I know it, man.
The mean streets of the East, huh, Mongrovian?
Yeah.
All right, I got
Neil's gonna get it. Not gonna get as good a night's sleep as he got last night on our Casper mattress.
What are you talking about? Neil fell asleep on Zoom with us last night watching GCW, sitting next to you in that very room.
Oh yeah, that's right. He fell asleep on that uncomfortable chair from my father's old country club. Okay, so that means he'll sleep anywhere.
And Mongrovian Mike took an Austin Theory-esque selfie that was brilliant.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
maybe someday we'll make that public. That's we don't want to embarrass Neil publicly. Oh wait, we just did. Sorry.
That's okay. I mean, you know what? HiJacker, it's going for the show. I'm going to send it to you.
Okay.
You can put in the opening clips.
Oh.
So we're a little over time. I get two more quick things. Tony, do we get the origin story of monkeys versus donkeys? No, not yet. Stay tuned. You'll have to check with Brian on that one. Now that's stuck in my head. And lastly, I wanted to mention, so we've got a big announcement coming up. I think probably next week. We've got something really exciting on the horizon that someone's going to come on and talk about, and it's pretty big for the show. It's pretty big for our group, and we're pretty excited about it. So make sure you're tuned in next week for the show for that, and we've got a special guest who's going to be coming on and talking about that. So, all right, let's wrap up for that. Let everybody go take a nap before the GCW show starts in a couple hours. Get some snacks and all that stuff. HiJacker, what you got? What's your socials?
You guys can reach me on Twitter, Mr. Mac. You guys can reach me when I do get a chance to do my show for On Sports. I am HiJacker Mike with Nation Night Fights, weekly boxing report, but a little busy with work and things every day out here. So I try to get an episode on, just hit HiJacker Mike or Nation Night Fights on YouTube, and I'm around.
Thanks, Mongrovian.
Hey, I'm right here in Casa de Mongrovia. The guest room is open. We got the fresh mints on the fresh pillows and everything again, and you can see me at Mongrovian Mike right down there. Just look for me. I'm around.
Yeah, and this week we remembered the passing of Joseph Hudson. It's been a year since we lost him, and some of us had the good fortune to spend some time with him in the NWA studio and get to see him. And it's a tragic loss, man. And it's been a year, and I think people still remember him very fondly and frequently. So R.I.P. to Joseph Hudson, ? Josephus.
Yeah. That's why I keep the name Mongrovian Mike. I told you the day that, the day that he was gone, I usually would change names up on, and I said, I'm just going to keep this name, and that's the name I'll keep. People call me Elder. They can call me Elder. You can call me Mongrovian Mike. You can't call me what my wife calls me because, like you said, Fro, this is a PG show. So I just want to give a special shout out to my wife Jackie because she really went above the call of duty. I said duty, but for Neil was just coming to just crash for the night, and he really was floored, and that's how I would treat any of you people coming here to visit us here. So love you all, you guys as family, man. That's all I want to say. Be nice to each other.
Yeah, man, and I'm front row, PW front row across pretty much all the socials. You can find us on Twitter at Nation's Corner and across all the other socials at The Nation's Corner. And we will see you next week. As I mentioned, big announcement, lots of coverage coming up. I think we're probably going to reach out to our friends Ezra and Neil to do some GCW and New Japan coverage as March comes in. There's a lot going on in both promotions as we're leading up to the WrestleMania week and stuff there. So everybody enjoy your week, and we will see you all next Saturday.